Soundcheck. Nice hair. We brought you two to present on behalf of Guilford. Thanks. So I think it'll go well with your outfit.
My name is Gabe the Babe, DJ Gabe the Babe from WQFS and the Guilfordian, and I am here with Ryan Hemsworth, a very acclaimed electronic artist from Nova Scotia.
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us, Ryan. Thanks for coming to play Serendipity.
Of course.
Are you excited for your set?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah?
Yeah, I haven't really checked outside to see how many people are showing up yet, but I'm excited for sure.
Yeah, you've been kind of locked away in the student health center.
On tight security watch.
Yeah, I can tell. The security guards are just all around. Can you tell us about when you first started playing music?
First thing I really did was start playing acoustic guitar. My aunt bought me one for Christmas when I was like 13 or something like that, and just did a lot of like Elliott Smith covers and stuff and recorded it, getting comfortable with sharing music and stuff. So eventually I was recording it and doing it all that way, and it just evolved into production and then DJing for shows. But I mean, like right when I was starting off and getting comfortable recording and stuff, I was pretty much like using acapellas of like Biggie Smalls or Destiny's Child or whatever I could find on the internet at the time. I've had fun like working with pieces of other people's music.
Balancing sampling with creating your own signature style. How do you do that? How do you balance the two?
I don't know. Still like figuring it out, honestly. I think like my next project will hopefully be a good like example of that influences I had growing up and getting into music, which is a lot more indie rock oriented.
Yeah.
So the stuff I was like really into when I was starting to play guitar and all that. I'm still totally into all that type of music, and I think that's where I get like a lot of my influence from.
So should we expect some Elliott Smith to bring it down tonight at Serendipity?
Probably not tonight. Gonna try my best to keep the energy up.
You're also DJing for people, in a club on a Friday night in some really big city, and you want to balance playing, the most recent Kanye track with inserting your own different feeling of music. How do you balance that?
Yeah, that's definitely been like the most difficult thing for me to figure out, because like everything I make naturally is like slower. If you make stuff on a laptop and you get booked for shows, you're basically expected to play like shit that's gonna make people turn up and go crazy. Yeah, it's just finding that middle ground really. I just jump around a lot.
Was there any time you were DJing when you really learned that lesson of being careful with which song you put next to the other?
Yeah, I mean, like the most fun part of it as well when you're playing is just like testing the waters a bit and seeing how far you can go with it. Like I think I made like a Backstreet Boys remix, and I played that in like Dallas, this like really swanky like ball service club, and afterwards people were like hitting me up on Facebook like, "It's so stupid." Like, really? Like you're that mad? But then other times people are like, that's their favorite part.
Yeah.
So you never know.
I guess those people didn't want it that way. You grew up in Nova Scotia in Halifax, which I don't think has the most bustling city or the busiest place. And now you're DJing all around the world. What keeps you grounded, even as this is maybe a period in your life where you're going through lots of different changes?
I think growing up in a city like that, where like people never really like gave a shit about what I was doing, but I just like don't really ever fully feel the confidence that maybe other artists do. So I think that is healthy, hopefully.
Yeah.
It's kept me wanting to do better.
Yeah.
Constantly, I guess.
Yeah. And one thing that I've read in some of your interviews is that you often describe yourself as somewhat self-conscious, which is surprising to me because you're DJing in front of so many different people. How did you make that transition from being a self-described, slightly self-conscious person to playing in front of so many people?
Yeah, I think it's just from, like I'm just like any person who just sits on a computer all day and doesn't really like deal with a lot of people, so it is weird to kind of be like torn out of that and placed in front of a bunch of people who are just staring at you.
Yeah.
But I've gotten used to it. Like I don't know. It's also like my favorite place to be, like at a party or something, to be on stage, like away from people so you don't really need to talk to people. And then you can kind of like supply like the music and the fun for the night, and people always appreciate it, so it's like it's a good balance, it's a good place to be.
What's one of your favorite songs to play recently?
Yeah, it depends on the place, but like I'm usually happy when I can play as much rap as I can. I've just been like any Young Thug song I want to play a million times, so I try to fit in as many of his tracks as I can.
Someone in Edinburgh gave you a Pikachu birthday cake or regular cake?
Yeah, that was actually I'm going back to play at the same place this month. But yeah, there's a lot of good venues where they like that one. They just were like, hey, here's a cake with a Pikachu in it. Like,
that's great.
I'm down.
Shit.
Happy.
Is Pikachu your favorite Pokemon? Serious question.
I think so. Yeah, either Pikachu or Jigglypuff.
One thing, jumping around a little bit to talk about your guilt trips a little bit. That was composed mostly on tour, is that true?
Yeah, more or less, yeah.
How did that affect the sound of the album?
I kind of, over the span of a year, was working on it, and pretty much most of the time was traveling, so it was a lot of just like flying around and, you know, being by myself a lot, so it was a lot of like reflective times, I guess.
Yeah. Other than making music while you're on tour, is there something you do, you know, in every city to keep yourself entertained?
No, I don't know. Like I tried my best to like get out and just like walk around and get a coffee wherever like a local coffee spot is, because like naturally I just want to sit in my hotel and watch Netflix or whatever. But, like, I've learned to like really like force myself to go out and try and see some stuff, because it's like I never thought I was gonna like travel anywhere honestly.
Yeah.
So now I get to like see a different city every couple of days, which is definitely amazing.
How did you know that music was for you? What was the big moment?
I think it was just really like that point of when I picked up a guitar and like started messing with it, because like I have two older brothers who are sports players, and like my family isn't really that musical, so it was like, and I'm not really into like the sports or anything like that, so once you figure out like something that you're decent at, and then your mom's like, hey, you're good at that, and then your brothers think you're a little cooler, I was like, okay, like, this is my thing, I guess.
This has been Gabe the Babe for the Guilfordian and Ryan Hemsworth. Oh yeah, thanks so much for stopping by.
Cheers.